Today, the F1 2022 season has finished, with Max Verstappen claiming the World Championship for the second time in his career. We knew about it since quite a long time, but the one thing that is not finished, and we'll watch it for nearly a month if you want to continue with the Formula 1 action. We're speaking about the championship fight, by the way. As you can see on the trailer, it's Tony Richard versus Irvin Curtin. Nobody else has any more chances of winning the championship, and I'm speaking for real, because the gap between second Curtin and third Pavlakovic is 109 points, which is quite a lot, if I'm completely honest. With 4 races to go, where there's 108 points to get, there is no chance for Quill to even get second. We are having a full grid today in Ero Pc F1 Spanish Grand Prix, which was also a place of a debut drivers race, won by Irvin Curtin, by the way, before the season. And today we're going to watch more of the action in Circuit de Catalunya. My name is Wojciech Śmigowski. I am the Ero Pc F1 commentator and the entire European Racing Organization's league owner. And I invite you to the true home of league racing, Season 8. 4 races to go, championship fights going on in both F1 tiers, because we've also got PSF1 2 hours later, which will have a fight between Lepenru and King. Guillaume Daronia also has big chances, because he's like 16 points behind, 19 to be exact, but he is already declared that he will help his teammate to get the title, his first one, rather than himself getting a second one. Anyway, stopping about the PlayStation, it's time to move into the track. As you can see, everyone should have get their numbers correctly, and this should be right. No issues on any side today. So, welcome to Ero Pc F1. We also can say welcome to 2 more drivers who are Jack Harrington and Tyler Freeman. Jack will race in Haas today, and Tyler will go to a Williams. They're already in their cars in the garage. Or actually on the track. On the outlap already. We'll have a look at both Ferrari drivers. As it's not Ferrari, but Red Bull drivers, of course, who are in the championship fight. But we've also got a big guaranteed seat fight that we're witnessing today. As we've got 2 seats only for Season 9 guaranteed. That is still to be on crossplay, but subject to a further investigation. But we've got 3, 6, 7 drivers who can get it. And it's Quill Pavlakovic on 3rd place with 90 points. And we've got 2 drivers with 86 points of Luke Mills and Arian Bilbas. Then we've got Tom Maurer with 84 points, Cameron Dowds 83, Diogo Moraes 79, and Drake Dempsey 77. The gap between 3rd and 9th is just 13 points. And today you are welcomed to Spanish Grand Prix, which will definitely tell us a bit more, considering the final 3 races of the season: Hungarian Grand Prix, Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and the finale at Brazil. We were supposed to get a race in Japan, but following the very controversial tournament in football, we have decided to cancel it so you can watch it freely. I'm not going to watch it myself, I prefer watching Ero F1, so we'll start a lap with Jonathan Voss, who's just about starting his lap here in Circuit de Catalunya, and he'll show us around the track. The Norwegian driver, a couple of times race winner, 4th place in last season's Ero Pc F1. This season has been going way worse for him, considering issues with his simulator, and if I was rude, I would say something about skill issues, but it isn't a skill issue, just Jonathan Voss spinning around in turn 3 already, so we'll not have a lap with him, but we've got a McLaren driver behind, and that is Joe Fegali, an Ero Pc F2 reserve. We've already got Marvin Moore having a collision with Drake Dempsey, and he's going to be dropped by 5 places. Drake Dempsey still gets the fastest lap though, so that is surprising, even though Owen Heinen now outscores him, because, well, Drake's been 2 seconds off the pace. Maybe he's just been doing the practice stint, but that was very weird. We didn't see that on the stream, but definitely 5 place grid penalty for Marvin. as Tyler Freeman gets now the fastest lap with 16.7 already, which is a very quick lap time. Berlini on the medium tires, because remember, this time, after a 1.15 patch, you can use medium tires in qualifying, and even if you try hard, you can get into hard tires on the track, just like Joe Fegali does right now. So these are probably just warm-up laps. Maybe having a little bit of use on these tires, a little bit of usage, a little bit of grip for the race pace. Now Fegali finishes on the last place with this lap. And I believe we've got a very interesting qualifying session, because as you can see, Jonathan Voss, for example, is on 11th and with 140. Evan Kurten's already on provisional pole with 16.4. Are we going to see 115s today? Well, considering the grip levels rise linearly in this game, like they have the same pace of growth, of rising, it's possible to get us into the 15s. But drivers will definitely have to go on edge, as Tony Richter is having a slow lap. We look at Diogo Moraes, who's starting the lap on medium tires. I wonder, well, there is not a rule about using the same compound in the race as you compared to the one used in qualifying. Also, congratulations from the very nice 360, Diogo. But what did I mean? There isn't such a rule that you have to use the same tires in the race that you used in your fastest qualifying lap if you're in top 10 anymore. But drivers look like they still think it's a thing. And we've got a couple of drivers on medium tires, especially Borlini, who's on 6. 2 milliseconds ahead of Philip Kielar, who's a PC F3 driver, who's also got points once in PC F1. It's actually amazing how this league has turned on PC platform, because from the beginning of the days, half of the league, well, I'm going to tell you this, since the beginning days of Season 4, when there was a full first proper season on PC, this league was actually half Polish, because there were 6 drivers on the grid, 7 drivers on 8 drivers on the grid coming from Poland. Now we've got only 1 full-time driver from Poland and 1 in reserves, and that is PCF3 in this tier. So this is amazing progress of the league that has turned into a full international platform, not just Polish, raising up the attendance. Meanwhile, Diogo Moraes goes into the pit lane and will not set a 140, just like Jonathan Voss did. But now Jonathan Voss has gone 6 with 17.2 of a lap time, as he's now letting drivers past. Sami Nakle, 19.6 on the hard tires. So that is very interesting from his side. Cameron Dowds just crosses the Sector 1 line, and we can say that Cameron, great strategy choice from him in France to stay on the interest despite the fact it was bone dry. And he was having his first win on PC F1 tier, but unfortunately Rabih Milcho stepped in, the PC F1 steward, and has spotted Cameron crossing the pit lane entry line. And this made Cameron get a 5-second time penalty, dropping him to 2nd place, letting Drake Dempsey win for the first time this season. But I think Cameron has a high chance of winning this season anyway. There's only 4 opportunities, but he feels good on these technical tracks, even though France is a fast track as well. But it also has a lot of technique involved, technical skills, especially in sectors 1 and 3. This is where Cameron feels good and may even get a victory here in Spain or in Hungary, because these are the 2 other tracks that require corner skills, going for corners. Cameron meanwhile gets into the provisional pole of 16.3. As Curtin is in the garage, Tyler Freeman, great qualifying session from the beginning. He's currently on the 3rd place. Now Luke Mills, 6th, the AlphaTauri driver, who's having the 4th place in the standings of the championship. Very consistent driver who's nearly always been between 4th and 6th. The last races were not as good, as he's finished, for example, 10th in France, where he described his race as just being on his own, and that's little thing to say by being on his own. He's actually been between a gap of 55 seconds that separated the 9th and the 11th. And he was on 10th. He was just doing his own race. And France about Spain, this might be a little bit closer. Especially considering a shorter track, as Lucas crosses the line, stays on 8th. I believe he's just starting a lap, the AlphaTauri driver. Been involved in top 10 fights in Season 6 and in Season 7. First half of the season was getting adjusted to the new simulator, so he had to get little to no points, but then he bounced back, finished near the top 10. Now in his first no assist season, despite the fact this tier still allows the usage of line, which hopefully will not next season. But he's doing no assist anyway, and he's doing pretty well. Not right now though. Very fine spin. Looking at the drivers who are just starting a lap, it's definitely Tyler Freeman, but behind him we've got an Alpine, and that is Paolo Borlini. No, that is Marvin Moore. Just to confirm. We've got two McLarens crossing the line, and one of those was Diogo Moraes, who's finished up 7 milliseconds behind Cameron. There's also Williams being spun around. In Sector 2, that's Pavlakovic. I thought he was stuck for a moment, but he joins back the circuit. And we'll see him finishing this qualifying. Probably not on this run. There's also an Ferrari being spun. That is Arjan Bilbas. Turn 9 proves to collect loads of victims around here. One of them being Arjan. There's also some bit of traffic in Sector 3 on the final chicane. As there's an Alfa Romeo starting a lap. Are actually finishing it. Drake Dempsey, 16.3 on pole position. His teammate for today's race, Yanni Ducrot, is not allowed to go for qualifying as due to penalty points accumulations. He's got 15 of them. Just to inform you, the rules here are a little bit different compared to real F1. As you need to get 15 penalty points for a qualifying ban, and 20 for a race ban, 30 for a season ban, and 35 if you want to get to never league race again. Pavlakovic is out of the session already though. Did he actually crash into the pit lane? Yeah, he did not make it. Probably there was some teamwork between Moraes and Fegali, as well, there is Moraes in the old Williams suit on the photo that you could see on the banner, but yeah, it's a bit outdated. Will be updated for Season 9, as Evan Curtin does a 16.2, so we're getting closer to these 15s. Is it possible though? Tony Ritchie is 2 tenths up on his lap time, so we'll see about him. The Red Bull driver is on the final corner. He's about to cross the line with around 6 minutes to go, so he will have one more qualifying round. He finishes 5th. He does not have the greatest qualifying pace, as Evan Curtin has got more pole positions comparing to him. Luke Mills is out also on the pit lane entry. There is a Drake Dempsey. Yeah, we could see that he did not make it as well. But speaking of, congratulations, Drake. We watched it. That was not a smart thing. Congratulations, but we have to go to the other drivers. Thanks to Drake, I missed the topic I was speaking about, but what surprises me even more, Fegali still making the laps on hards. Is he practicing the race pace around here? I'm not sure. Maybe he knows he'll not be high in qualifying in top 10, so he just practices the race pace and he goes on hards for another lap. I don't know. Did he actually get 25 laps of fuel? Are you serious? Yeah, he did. You can see that on his wheel. It's 25.7 on the top right side of this little screen. He's actually got 25 laps of fuel remaining, so he's just doing the race laps on hard tires, wearing them out. It absolutely has no sense, because you will have worn tires in the race, and you will have to we will have to make the medium stint longer, unless there's rain predicted. I don't know. And he has decided that he will use them anyway. We don't know about the raining conditions. But Joe Fegali, yeah, another lap on hards. And I believe Sami Nakle is practicing race pace as well. But I see qualifying. I see F1Q on the results screen. Not FP1. Surprising choice from two Lebanese drivers. At least Marvin Moore is taking this seriously and making laps, being ninth at the moment, as Jack Harrington goes into the pit lane. Cameron Dowds is on the lap, I believe. No, he is not, because he's got little to no ERS, unless he's going for 2 runs in a row. And he believes he can do way better on the second one, despite having no ERS. We'll see about that in Sector 2 line. Well, Sector 3 will be crucial. It's half a second, it's not worth it. How about Tom Maurer? He's actually on the sods, but he's got his lap invalidated. Next up, we've got the Ferrari of Arian Bilbas, who's starting a lap as well. I hope he will not spin unlike Jonathan Voss did on his first qualifying run, and he's going smoothly through turn 3 around Spain. He's 1/10 down on his lap time. This race might be crucial for Arian, as he needs to get every single point possible. He's got into the podium last week in French Grand Prix, getting 3rd place after, I believe, Richard has been penalized after an incident with Evan Curtin. And this allowed Arian to be on the podium for the first time since Bahrain. Or Italy. No time to check, he's 4/10 up on his lap time, 3:95 to be exact, so that's 4/10. The most crucial part of this track, the Sector 3, with plenty of slow corners, where you need to be very precise on the entry, on the exit, on the midway, through the chicane, for example. Short shifting a little bit, because that is what is OP in this game, as Arian Bilbas is about to cross the line with 16 on his lap time, 16.8, placing him on position number 7. This is from the Ferrari. Looking at Philip Kiela, who's approaching Sector 2 on the Haas. He's racing in Alfa Romeo on PC F1 here, where he has a big chance to get a championship. But he is racing in Haas today, and well, only P16, despite the fact he's already got a point in PC F1 once this season. He's invited at his lap, so not nice. Joe Fegali probably lets one of the Alpines through, and that is Marvin Moore, to start the lap. Still practicing his race pace with Sami. I'm wondering what's the plan with these two drivers. Maybe we've got dissing issues and they think it's a race already. And they're like, why do I have to lap these guys for another time? And why they are pitting so often? As Marvin Moore through Sector 2 he goes. Just a reminder, between all of the stuff, that Season 9 side maps are open. 80% of chances of being at crossplay, so you can actually have a F1 tier greatest of all time in league racing. And that's not an exaggeration. You can sign up with any assist you want, any pace you have. Just do your best in the trials that are way shorter comparing to the ones in other leagues or last seasons of Ero. Because you just need to do a trial sprint around Hungary, which is next week, by the way, and the trial qualifying around this track, here in Spain. Short qualifying, sprint race, which is 12 laps around Hungaroring. Marvin Moore meanwhile. You know what to do, sign-ups are in Discord. The gap between top 4 and qualifying is just 1/10. Just realized. And these are the final qualifying runs, for example, runs, as Drake Dempsey starts one, Evan Curtin is about to finish one. But he's 24 milliseconds down on his lap time. As there is a bit of a mess ahead of him. One of the Haas letting him pass out of the track on the ground zone. I don't know what happened there. There might have been a confusion between Fegali, who's practicing race pace, and Harrington. As Evan Curtin is about to cross the line, and we'll see if he can get into the new pole position lap time. It's a 16.346, which will place him still on the provisional pole, but it might be a sign for Drake to outscore this lap, to get a little bit better. He's losing 25 milliseconds on his best lap time. I hope this Mercedes of Nakle possibly, yeah, that is Nakle, will not interrupt his run, as he's 11 milliseconds up now on his lap time. That is very close. That is like, Freeman goes for pole position meanwhile, 16.1. We've never expected a Williams driver on his debut actually already proceeding to win. As Cameron Dowds retires on the session in the pit lane, he will not get any higher than 4th. Now can Drake Dempsey get pole position in this for the Spanish Grand Prix? Yes, he has done it. 16.134, which places him 38 milliseconds ahead of Tyler Freeman, who's a debut driver in today's race as well. Diogo Moraes on his final qualifying run. We've also got Tony Ritchie, who's crossed the line to stay on the 6th, as Diogo Moraes has probably messed it up this chicane so badly he decided to finish his qualifying session, and we'll start on the 5th. At pole position, it's Drake Dempsey ahead of Tyler Freeman and Irvin Curtin, ahead of the Spanish Grand Prix. This helps out massively for Irvin, as he can be now 19 minus 7 points. 11 points at the championship. Drake Dempsey confirms pole position. Marvin Moore will be 5 places down. Not a good news for Drake in this first qualifying run, as you can see. So the top 10 is Drake Dempsey, Tyler Freeman, Irvin Curtin, Cameron Dowds, Diogo Moraes, Tony Ritchie, Paolo Berlini, Arjan Bilbas, Jack Harrington, and Ferry Wagenaar. This is the top 10 of today's qualifying. Behind them, we've got not Marvin Moore, because he's got a 5-place grid penalty, but Pavlakovic, Mills, Foss, Henan, and Killar will get ahead of him. Moore will be 16th, then Sami Nakra 17th, Joe Fegali 18th, Tom Maurer 19th, and Ducros, after a qualifying ban, will start on the last place. And it's overcast for Sunday. And I see some little bit of trade drops, if I'm completely honest with you. Or is it my eyes playing tricks? I don't know. We'll turn on the race director, which we have to do twice because of this beautiful game. And we'll see what tires have drivers picked. Drake Dempsey prioritizes his lighter pace as he starts on hards. Arjan Bilbas goes for the softs. Tyler Freeman hards. How about Diogo Moraes? He starts on mediums at the moment, but it looks like we'll have a split in today's race. As, for example, Bilbas goes also the soft, same for Lukmus. Is this terrain being predicted sooner than later? As we've got just 5 seconds to go, and we're about to start the Spanish Grand Prix right now. There's no formation lap. We're already racing from the very beginning of the race. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Is Tyler Freeman going to surprise Drake on his debut? Well, that is the question, as it's lights out and away we go. Looks like Drake Dempsey is having a good start, not good enough to keep Tyler behind him, as he's side by side with him. Now Tyler has settled down behind him, as Irvin Curtin goes for the 2nd place. And he's in the first corner. Cameron Dowds fights Freeman as well, so there was a qualifying pace from Tyler, but it doesn't look like working in the race. He's lost another place to a Ferrari of Bilbas, as far as I'm aware. Yes, it is a place to Bilbas. Vagali and Ducros has 1 round in turn 3. Now we've got Tyler Freeman losing another place to Diogo Moraes this time, as he's trying to make a move on the McLaren driver. The PSF1 Season 7 champion has lost his place now to Tyler. Tyler bounces back after a horrible start. Another Williams of Kul Pavlakovic is spun around. He rejoins safely though. But all in all, apart from... Okay, there was some incident at the back. That is Ferry Wagenaar being spun around. We've also seen AlphaTauri losing places. Tyler Freeman goes for a fight with Diogo Moraes. There's Cameron Dowds swiping Arjan Bilbas wide. But Bilbas rejoins on the 5th place. Cameron Dowds has lost quite a lot. There's lots of incidents going on here, to be completely honest. Tyler Freeman, I don't know if he used reset to track, but it looked like so. This might be potentially reported, but Tyler Freeman, great qualifying, disaster of a race pace, as Arjan Bilbas loses another place, as he spun around as well, and that's a carnage. I don't know what to say about that, but Arjan, if you have wing damage, you definitely go to the pit lane. Ferrari driver has just done the most unsafe release of unsafe releases. I'm completely honest with you. Mistakes happen though, but Saminaka will not get a second chance today. He's out of the Grand Prix. Killer uses it to pit. But yeah, whilst the front goes very well, it's the other story for the back of the grid, as Dempsey is ahead of Erwin Kurten. Then we've got Diogo Mares and Jonathan Voss with a great start. I do see on the chat that you have said that Tyler Freeman is actually a generational talent, and in qualifying, indeed, he's been second. But this first lap of the race was disaster for him. He still has a chance to bounce back though, so we'll see about that. Okay. Well, I'm using the safety car as well to check a couple of fine things. As you can see, we can see Saminaka being out of the race. Oh, we've also got the fastest lap animation, for example. Yeah, that is very interesting things, if I'm completely honest with you. There's a couple of drivers in the pit lane, for example, Tony Ritchie, Paolo Borlini, Joe Fagali, Owen Heinen, Marvin Wood and Arjan Bilbas, and Philip Killer is going to be ahead of a couple of those. Yep. Should be working like so at the moment, as Drake Dempsey still leads the race on these hard tires under the safety car. He has not decided to pit. Same applies for Jonathan Voss, who's got a brilliant start on these soft tires. He's 9 places up. Tom Maurer is 11 places up. He started on the hard tires though, so yeah, I need to crawl 9 places up. Bouncing back after qualifying ban. Tyler Freeman after a spin, he's 10th. So yeah, the only one who's got a disaster was Arjan Bilbas. And Saminaka, of course. There were a couple of spins here and there, but for example, Kul Pavlakovic, even after a spin, is ninth. So that is amazing. As we've got the lap 3 of the safety car, which means we'll not have DRS for another 2 racing laps. And well, about DRS, I've just learned a very interesting fact of testing for new season, for the 2023 Formula 1 season, that it might be enabled on the lap 2 of the sprint already, not lap 3 as we have it, but already on lap 2. This might bring more action to the sport. This is predicted to be a permanent rule in 2024. We'll see about that, but I do like this rule, if I'm completely honest with you. Definitely allows for a bit more action during the races, and this will also be a change for league racing, because we might have these DRS trains in F1 esports for 1 lap longer. At least here there is action, even if it includes crashing. But not a fault of mine that these spins happen. Looking at the weather though, it looks like it's brightening up. It's getting brighter. It's now partially cloudy, not fully cloudy, not overcast, as safety car is in this lap. Now, we'll see if Erwin Kurten can make a move on Drake, which will be crucial for his championship. Now he is 1 point behind Drake on the championship standings. The safety car is coming in. Drake is warming up his tires very slowly. So yeah, Diogo Mares nearly goes out of the track, leaves himself a bit of space, so because he would like rather watching the fight for the win rather than participating in it at the moment. Maybe using that in the future to get into first. Drake Dempsey slowly warming up these tires, very slowly. He's not accelerated just yet. We're about to start. Oh! We're not about to start the Spanish Grand Prix, restart the Spanish Grand Prix with Drake Dempsey because he spun around, and now Erwin Kurten without a front wing is leading the Spanish Grand Prix. What kind of confusion just happened there? Erwin Kurten with no front wing is going to lead the Spanish Grand Prix. That's been a big spin from Drake Dempsey, and now Erwin Kurten leads the Grand Prix. I don't know what his wing damage is because, well, he's spun around now by Moraes, but that is loads of chaos that Jonan Vos is capitalizing on it, as he's leading the Grand Prix. After a safety car restart, one of the weirdest that League Racing will ever see. I did not expect neither Drake spinning and Erwin having no front wing and anything like this. But that is a disaster for Erwin Kurten. Well, Diogo Moraes has... Well, was he aware of Erwin having no wing? Maybe. And he's probably got the damage himself. The ones capitalizing on this are Mills, Maurer and Voss. And Harrington as well on his debut. Now, Tom Maurer tries to make a move on Diogo Moraes for position number 5, and he does so because I believe Diogo has got wing damage. He did, after an incident with Kurten. Was he fully in fault of this incident? Well, in lower tier, PSF for French Grand Prix, Jakub Kozłowski has got a 5-second time penalty for slightly tapping the driver ahead of him. Despite it was dry and the driver head was on inter tires, whilst Jakub was on softs. And this makes me wondering, is Diogo at fault? I mean, he could have seen Erwin having no wing, but Erwin was also desperate on his defense. And despite the fact he's gone into the pit lane now, and he will have to retake all of the places as soon as that is possible. He's now in the pit lane with Moraes, Ducro, Bilbas and Bruni, so essentially most of the top drivers have just gone into the pit lane and lost places in this restart. Who's leading? Jonathan Voss of all people. This makes also an open chance for Cameron Dowds to bounce back after French Grand Prix penalty and win the race as well, because he's on the hard tires. He does not have to go to the pit lane. He's got Jonathan ahead of him on softs that are starting to get worn right now. And he can easily make a move. He also has loads of ERS to play with. I don't know, to be honest with you, how this will turn around today's race, but we've definitely seen chaos. Pure chaos here in Spain in these first laps. You can sense there is a championship fight when drivers are trying desperate things, as Tom Maurer has gone ahead of Jack Harrington for position number 4, the Haas driver on reserve, doing pretty well on his debut, but losing another place, and he's about to lose another one to Drake Dempsey, who's got Tony Richer right behind him. Remember last season's PC F1 Spanish Grand Prix, where Tony Richer was second and Drake Dempsey was first. This was the days when Drake Dempsey was racing in Red Bull, and he was actually being a full-time driver. Now he's on Alfa Romeo as an esports development driver and as a reserve around here, but it's still, well, history likes to repeat because, well, he's ahead of Tony Richer, just like it was last season, but the little difference is that Drake won that race last season easily, and he's now going off track, Drake Dempsey, so there's more trouble for the Alfa Romeo driver, who wants to overtake Harrington, but can't do it. Now he goes for a move down the inside on the Haas driver. There's a little bit of a contact between these two, but Drake Dempsey goes for it, completes the move for position number 5. That was a clean one, if I was completely honest. Moraes is in the pits yet again. I don't know what happened there. Maybe the pit crew did not change his front wing, as there's an Alpine being spun around. I believe that's Marvin. Yep. As there is a Tony Richer making a move on Jack Harrington as well. There's a little bit of a contact between the Red Bull and the Haas. We'll see about that in the next corners. If Tony will lose too much time behind Jack or fighting with him, he's going to lose it in the for the championship as well. He's losing another place to Tyler Freeman. Now he tries a desperate move to get ahead of the Williams, and now he's back ahead. He's got the arrest though, but it isn't helping him. He's very close, Tyler Freeman, to Tony Richer. Drake Dempsey's at the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Now he's right behind Tom Maurer. As Tony Richer is getting faster, he's getting very close to Jack Harrington. He goes for a move down the inside, makes it stick, even though it was very, very tight. Now he's ahead of the Haas driver. Now he has to capitalize on the free air that he has. He's using all of his ERS now. And already lost 2 seconds to Drake. Also, just to point out, this custom results screen is working way better. Oh, there's a spin! There's a half spin of a Haas of Jack Harrington. He's touched Tyler Freeman. Evan Curtin goes for the fastest lap of the race. This means he's getting a 1 championship point, as we have a rule that you only have to finish the race to get that point. Meanwhile, Burlini makes a move on Ducro, but definitely a couple of these incidents are going to be reported as a Cameron Dowd very close to Jonathan Foss. Curtin is out of the session though, so he might need to be coming back as soon as possible. But this is not a great race for neither of the Red Bull drivers. Cameron Dowd's on his way to make a move on Jonathan. I believe this will be a straightforward, especially considering he's got DRS, ERS and fresher tires. Even though Jonathan is on softs, Cameron will go for a move down the inside, even though he had the space around the outside. Now they are very close to each other from making a contact. They are still side by side into turn 2 and 3. Now Cameron, I believe, will make a bit stick. He's side by side with Jonathan still for the lead of the Grand Prix. He still can't make it stick. Now he is. Now he's leading the Grand Prix. Jonathan Foss will try to go around the outside, but he will have no chance of making it, of completing the move on Jonathan, on Cameron. As we've got Cameron Dowd leading this Grand Prix. Now Drake Dempsey is close to Luke Mills. He's already made the move. On Tom Maurer, and he's going to chase down Luke Mills, and he's got the top 2 to chase after. Cameron Dowd's probably having nightmares after the French Grand Prix, where Drake has stolen his win due to a pit lane entry rule breaking. As Drake Dempsey, I believe, yeah, he's making a move on Luke Mills. Also, I lost a bit of focus because there's a couple of drivers requesting a restart, but just to explain, massive unintentional collision is not a reason to restart the Grand Prix. Jonathan Foss already losing nearly a second to Cameron, but I believe he might be going... Yeah, he's having DRS at least, so that's helping Jonathan in the fight for the first place in this race. There's a chance. I don't say no. As only 17 drivers are still running, well, only after 10 laps, and the entire chaos of lap 1 and the restart. Drake Dempsey is getting close on Jonathan Foss despite having no ERS. As we've got a spin, and that is the Alpine of Marvin Moore, overtaken by a ghost of Erwin Curtin, who has still not joined the session. He's not going to get fastest lap as of now. I believe he's going to rejoin as soon as possible. Drake Dempsey probably will make a move on Jonathan Foss, who's struggling on these all soft tires. Around the outside? No. He's going to stay behind Jonathan for another sector, possibly. Or maybe he's making a switchback, which will have to go from around the outside to down the inside into the another corner. We'll see about that. He stays behind Jonathan, probably waiting for a better opportunity that is called DRS on the main straight. Marvin Moore retires in the pit lane. as Drake Dempsey makes it stick, overtakes Jonathan Voss for position number 2, even though Jonathan was looking for a space to fight back. Richie is now fighting Tom Maurer into turns 1 and 2. Tom Maurer has been involved in one famous incident with him and Curtin in Australia. Now he's having his teammate and the championship rival as well fighting with him. But he also has to watch out for Tyler Freeman, even though he's not having the best lines in turn 4. So there is a little bit of a train formed behind Jonathan Voss and Luke Mills at this very moment. As well, that was a bit of lag. Luke Mills is already within DRS of Jonathan Voss. We'll probably see him. He will not try to make a move because Jonathan Voss goes into the pit lane. Jonathan Voss is going to change his tires probably into hards now. I'd go with them until the end of this Grand Prix, unless he tries a ridiculous soft medium. Which Luke Mills now is on the podium places, but remember, nearly all of the drivers will have to go to the pit lane. Especially the ones in top 8, because they weren't into the pit stop. We'll see about that. Yep, there is top 8 but Tony Ritchie that have to serve their... Oh, there's a spin of Tyler Freeman as well. He was losing a place to Pavlakovic and Harrington. So that is another trouble for the Williams driver. Great qualifying, course race. Tony Ritchie probably on the way to make a move on Tom Maurer and Luke Mills. Tom Maurer covers up the inside. As there is going to be a free wide for position number 3. Tom Maurer is the one going to be ahead of the entire group. He's now having the third place. Both drivers have overtaken Luke Mills for position number 3, but it's not done yet because Tony Ritchie, look how close he is to Tom Maurer. This is vital for the championship because if he has a gap of like 30 or 35 points for today's race, after today's race, well, it's going to be a great sign for Tony Ritchie because he's got that safe margin that may allow him to win the championship in Abu Dhabi. As Tony Ritchie now will have DRS on Tom Maurer. Tom Maurer will have no DRS on anyone because both of these drivers have overtaken Luke Mills. Tom Maurer having a little bit of a slide. And now it's Tony Ritchie making a move on him, placing himself on the third. I believe Tony will have to go for a pit stop again anyway, because these medium tires, I don't think they are going to survive from like lap 2 to lap 33. Tom Maurer having another slide. Now he's going to be under pressure from Luke Mills. He's got no DRS already, despite the fact Tony has overtaken him 3 corners ago. And it's now a chance for Luke Mills to make a move on Tom Maurer. The Mercedes driver is under pressure from the Alpha Tauri. We'll see about that. But Tom Maurer keeps his position very well indeed. And Drake Dempsey has caught Cameron Dowds already. I wonder what would happen in terms of the championship fights of any sort in PlayStation F1 tier if both of these drivers did not move to PC platform at any point. At least until the end of Season 7. Because that would have been beautiful. But yeah, chasing the esports stream. Which partially came true already for Drake. And Cameron will have to wait a little bit. But I think it's what may happen. as Cameron Dowds will be under pressure from Drake officially. He's racing in Aston Martin, and the Aston Martin full-time driver is under pressure from Alfa Romeo driver. We'll see if a move can be made by Drake right now. Cameron's weaving about a bit, trying to break the slipstream. I don't think the move will be done now, unless, well, Drake is going to definitely be closer, but will happily stay behind Cameron, waiting for better opportunity. Meanwhile, we'll see about Erwin, who's already lapped. Well, he still has that fastest lap point. Still counts. As Cameron Dowds, well, under pressure, he still keeps himself ahead of Drake. Very well indeed. Irvin Curtin goes out of the track massively on the exit of turn 5. Cameron at least has a bit of loads of ERS to play with. Just realized. And I'm wondering who's going to lead after lap 16. Well, definitely will be Cameron on the line, but can Drake make a move on the DRS zone? Evan is probably just hoping for a safety car, which I'm already telling him do not pit under any circumstances. The reason for that is you're going to be lapped by more people. So Evan Curtin has to hope for safety car, getting himself unlapped, and then he can push fully. As Drake Dempsey is now closer to Cameron, definitely. He's using his ERS, so this is a chance for him to make a move. Cameron covers the inside line into turn 1. We'll see if Drake can make a move around the outside. There's contact between these two! Drake Dempsey spins round. I don't think it was anyone's fault though. But Drake is having disaster of a race today. Despite having the pole position, spinning on the safety car restart, then this spin from Cameron, despite the fact he was about to go to P1. Now he's to attack from P4 all over again. I would love to say that Cameron is under pressure from Erwin, but now Erwin has a chance to unlap himself. For sure. Tony Richa is a couple of seconds behind. He's like 4 seconds behind, but remember he still has to make a pit stop. Unless he's doing some miracles. But is Erwin Curtin going to unlap himself now? That's the question. He needs to treat Cameron as a normal car. Well, we can say he tried. And he's also trying to keep the best line, but he's also accidentally helping his championship rival. Rebels are already Constructors champions, but I mean, driving inside another driver through a sector is a big penalty, Evan. I'm just warning you. There's a little bit of your karma named being behind, a little slide. Tony Richa goes into the pit lane, so I predicted it right about him needing to pit. That's definitely more interesting to watch than a spin of Diogo Moraes. Another disaster race for the McLaren driver. I don't know what's going on. He started this season on PCs very well with wins at Saudi Arabia and Baku. Now he can't catch a break from all the troubles. Evan Curtin, if you hear me, stop driving inside Cameron though, because you're distracting not only yourself but himself as well. I know you like to be together, but I mean, get this move done for once. Yep. There you go. I hope he will not get any blue flags though. He's now fully ahead of Cameron, but it might be 4 penalty points. Depends on Rabbi. If he's in the chat, he can tell us. What does he think about Erwin trying to unlap himself in the weirdest way possible? I mean, he tried. He's trying. That would be fine if he got a race ban. And then we would nearly say, yeah, championship over. The one that we have been hyping around for so long. Yellow flags in Sector 3, but that's just a minor spin from someone. Now, Erwin, my instructions to you are to ignore the blue flags, apparently, because you need to get ahead of Cameron, who's being helped by Joe Fegali and last week's French Grand Prix. Oh, there's nearly a spin from Erwin Curtin. Now he's back behind Cameron. Now he's trying to make it stick again. That's pure entertainment here, but Erwin, I'm just going to tell you that Cameron is going to the pit lane. So we don't have to worry about not overtaking him right now. Will be worse if Drake comes up. Because he's already ahead of both Maurer and Mills. So a quick recap is that, yeah, we're having Erwin fighting for being unlapped. I'm also looking what's going on behind, because Drake Dempsey will save second, because I don't believe Tom Maurer is going to catch himself soon. But then we've got Mills driving his own race yet again. Maybe he'll be caught by Harrington and Pavlakovic. The top 6 has to pit. We've got Foss and Ricci being relatively close to each other. As Drake goes into the pit lane, Tom Maurer goes into the pit lane. Now Irving has probably heard us making a proper overtake on Cameron, not trying to drive inside him. That's probably making Cameron furious. He might get DRS sometimes, but he does not. He's using some of the ERS now. Tony Ricci gets to the fast lap of the Grand Prix, so we might see him looking to make a move on Jonathan Foss sooner than later. Jonathan Foss, who's professionally leading this Grand Prix. After all of the issues, after all of the stuff that has happened to him with the simulator, which is called Wheel, by the way, after all of the DNFs, after all of the spins, now he's actually fighting for a win in this race. And there's a spin of Arian Bilbas, who's just been lapped. And an Alfa Romeo as well. That's Alfa Romeo, I believe. Yeah, that's Yanni Ducrot, as he rejoins the track. Evan Curtin still fights for himself to be unlapped. As Cameron finally goes to the pit lane, Evan Curtin is now unlapped officially, and he doesn't have to waste any more time fighting with Cameron. And probably his penalty point account as well. Jonathan Foss just being, for example, disqualified in the French Grand Prix due to this game being beautiful. 27 points in his account. Only one podium in Britain. Ducro gets a 5-second penalty for spinning in the pit lane. Well, he retired from the session already. Cameron Dowds comes out on the 2nd place. So I don't think it was a big of a trouble, the fight with Erwin Curtin, for being lapped or unlapped. But he's having cold tires, so this is a chance for Nathan Foss to make a... It's going to be a free wide nearly into turn 4. But I think once Cameron warms up his tires, he's going to be ahead of these two very well indeed. Tony Ricci makes a move in Nathan this time. Nathan having the best race of the season, definitely. I've probably seen one of the Williams, either lagging or resetting to track. Now Tony Ricci will have a chance to make a move on Cameron. Well, this can make his championship situation safe. We'll see about that in later laps of the race, though. He's staying behind Cameron. I believe Luke Mills hopes for another safety car to come out. Unless he will finally go to the pit lane now. Yeah, he is going to the pit lane. He did not cross the line. For anyone trying to be searching for the singular millimeter of exiting the pit lane entry, is going to be disappointed. As Luke Mills will come out of the pit lane. Probably behind Jack Harrington, as we could see Tyler Freeman disconnecting from the session. Probably game has crashed, and I hope he will join the session as soon as possible. He can join through me though. He does not need any invite. So there's a spin, and that is Curtin. That is Curtin. His only task now is to finish the race and get that fastest lap, which Tyler Freeman has got, by the way. I believe he's going back to the session sooner than later. I also think that now everyone has no excuses of trying to unlap himself. Drake is using all of his ERS, despite the fact he's got none. And now he's trying to make a move on Tony Ricci, who's also lost a place to Jonathan Foss. So I don't know what happened there, but Drake fighting Tony for position number 3 in this race. This may be crucial for the championship. This might help Erwin a lot accidentally, despite the fact they've got into second incident in the second race running, Erwin and Drake. But Drake makes the move on Tony Richard, despite the fact he's going to have no DRS now. So that was not the best decision for him to make a move. Now Tony Richard is probably going to make the move on Drake Dempsey, and he's going to go for position number 3 back again. As Drake Dempsey, I believe he touched the curb a little bit. But this race was a pure mess comparing to what we could see in France, where everyone was just driving his own race apart from 2 incidents. As Tony Richard still under pressure from Drake, but now he's having the DRS of Jonathan Foss as well, so Drake was trying to make a move, but he did not make it fully. Now we're having, well, a little bit of a DRS chain. Tom Maurer hopes he will join it sooner than later. So am I right about only Bilbas has a time penalty? I was actually curious about it. Well, there's only one driver with time penalty added to his lap, to his time. Jonathan Foss still defends his second place. Well, he's actually got a chance to finish on the podium today. But Tony Richard will try to make a move on him sooner than later. Even though, yeah, Jonathan has got like this 8% more of ERS. He's sliding around a little bit, but keeping his second place very well indeed. Now Drake Dempsey tries to use that. That Tony is not able to make a move on Jonathan. He was trying to overtake himself. We'll see about that. He's so close to Red Bull's rear wing. We'll see about that soon, very soon. Both of these drivers have got similar levels of ERS. Now Jonathan Foss is probably going to be overtaken by Tony. How about Drake though? That's crucial for the fight between these two drivers. Yeah, Drake makes a move on Jonathan as well, who now has to settle for 4th. It's still the second best result of the season, best one since Britain, and best one since his return. And just to remind you, British Grand Prix was a season opener. Evan Courtin with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, so at least there is 1 point. Might be crucial. As Cameron Dowd leads the race very peacefully. 3 seconds ahead. No pit lane entry lines. As Tony has a little bit of a slide. I still think Jake might report Cameron for that turn 1 incident, as he's now very, very close to Tony. You can see, just like every other driver in this game, who has a bit of pace, short shifting very much, not even using the 3rd gear. Now he's going for a move on Tony, which I for position lap 26, and Drake started on the 2nd. That was easy. Tomar will probably finish on a peaceful 5th, and Lukmus on peaceful 6th. And yep, that was me on the digital banner. I need to flex a little bit. Keller and Burlini are fighting for the P11, so we'll see about this one. The PCF3 driver giving Burlini a bit of a lesson now, because he cannot make the move stick the Alpine driver. He's trying his best, but he can't. Now he's using a bit of ERS to get closer to the Polish driver. We'll see if he can make a move for position number 11. He goes around the outside. Was going to go for a move down the inside, but he's going around the outside. There was a little bit of a contact between him and Keller. But The Alpine driver has made it stick, and he's made the move. We'll switch to... Oh, Erwin Kurten, congratulations for 5 seconds penalty for corner cutting. He's having a disaster of a race. Now he's going through the escape route. The man who's been doing very well in the championship is not having the best second part of the season. Now, Tyler Freeman makes a move on Owen, who's probably gone wide himself. I believe, yeah, Erwin just has to finish the race to secure the points because there's no chance for disqualification. Also, Cameron Dowds has slapped Arjan Bilbas. Would love if it was Jonathan just behind him. There would be some tensions in the fight for the victory today. AlphaTauri, despite having gone behind 2 Williams drivers, is still winning in terms of constructors because it's 9 versus 6. As Owen tries to retake position number now for Tyler Freeman, but he can't. At least for now, as probably that was disconnection on purpose. 8 penalty points. Congratulations. Arjan Bilbas probably trying to be close to Cameron in order to have DRS at least. Well, he's trying to cut the corner as much as possible, probably trying to unlock himself as well, so Cameron's having more troubles with his drivers trying to unlock themselves. Now Arjan Bilbas is making a move. Well, this could be driving inside another drive, but it... yeah, blue flags. Blue flags. These are just beautiful in this game. You try to overtake and you try to regain the place, to regain the lap, but you can't. Because the aim reacts instantly. Now Arjan has to plan it so Drake and Tony do not get DRS from him. Now he has to slow down enough for Jonathan to get DRS. He's also losing a bit of pace. Tomaru is getting closer. But he's probably thinking of doing it on the main straight. This might be some smart Ferrari planning. Tito Gomaraj goes into the pit lane to all the soft tires. And when Kurten's AI goes into the pit lane for another soft tires. Cameron Dowds still leading the race. Tony is still putting Drake under pressure. Both of these drivers cannot catch Cameron. They're losing around 4 seconds. As Tony still has DRS, but he's probably saving these bits of ERS for the later laps of this Grand Prix. Or maybe making a move on the final lap for the 2nd place. Cameron Dowds still leading the Grand Prix. Still by around 3.4 seconds. Arjan Bilbas still ahead of his teammate though. So whilst nothing happens on this track at the very moment, apart from one of the Haas spinning, that's Keller. Keller has spun around, but he's rejoining on P12. I believe he will be P12 regardless of whatever happens. Even if he goes to the pit lane now, he still might have a chance for a P12. Maybe not now because he's lost too much time, but P13 definitely. Shame this race has turned into some boringness, because drivers have decided to use all of the action limits for first 7 laps. As Diogo Moraes makes a move on lapped curtain. There's already noted incident of Drake Dempsey spinning around on the safety car restart and having an unsafe rejoin after that, from what I can see. As we are probably, I will not be surprised if we will finish the race in this order. Greenman helping his teammate for today to get the place ahead, which will help him in the championship. As is that Jonathan Foss being spun out or Arjan Bilbas letting pass? That's probably Arjan Bilbas, yeah. Arjan Bilbas letting pass. Now Cameron faces the demons once again, but this time he will not have to worry. It's the eye. It's lap 32 starting right now. We've got Drake Dempsey already ahead of Tony Rich and we missed that. And all of the calmness of this race. We just used the open lobby strategy. Everyone spins around lap 5 until lap 5. And now we're having one of the most quiet races of the season. Apart from one incident between Drake and Cameron. Someone will spin, but that's about it. As Luke Mills is not under pressure from Jack Harrington. I was wondering about that Ferrari, but it's Arjan. Also, I don't speak French. Looking at the chat now because that the chaos part has stopped. Even though Tom Maurer is close to Jonathan Foss, so there might be a change in the standings. But I believe there are some comments towards Erwin and not being the best when it comes to obeying rules. If anyone can translate me this. As Moraes retires on the final lap of this race. Drake Dempsey, Tony Rich and Cameron have started the final lap of the Grand Prix. There's yellow flags in Sector 1, caused by Diogo Moraes retiring the pit lane. Beautiful game. But Jonathan Foss, well, the DRS from lapped Erwin has probably helped him keep the 4th place. So there's still a chance for him to get into the top 10 of the championship on the final 3 rounds of the season. Even though he's got 5-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flag. I believe this might be appealed, definitely. I think that today it's clear that Cameron, even with one incident of Drake, has capitalized the most from all of the chaos that happened around him on the first laps. We can see position changes, well, he's 3 positions up, but definitely the driver of the day is Tom Maurer, big. Up by, watch out for this, 14 places. And Jonathan Foss for 9 is also a very good result. But Cameron does this time wins in Spanish Grand Prix. At least on the line, because we'll see about that incident with Drake. We'll see about all of the penalties chaos. Then we've got Drake Dempsey and Tony Rich completing the podium. Then we're going to have Jonathan Foss and Tom Maurer on the 4th and 5th, and I believe, yep, this is going to be currently all the way around. But I think Jonathan is still going to appeal that 5-second time penalty. Regain these 2 points. Luke Mills on the 6th place. Arjan Bilbas, beautiful crash on the line. As surprisingly, the Gomorrah is going to keep his fastest lap point because he's covered 90% of the race distance. Paolo Borlini, despite just driving his own race on the back with Philip Keller a little bit, finishes on the 10th, getting his point on 11th, and on the 12th place we've got Philip Keller. Thank you for the performance. Yeah, that is not an exaggeration, he kept it clean. Others tried. Cameron kept it clean. Apart from that one incident, but this will be sad to forget. Yeah. We have it finished. The Spanish Grand Prix, not the French Grand Prix anymore. It's a victory for Cameron Doubts. That is me joining the Discord call to start the press conference sooner than later. Cameron with a clear win. Then we've got Drake, already noted for incident reports. No particles for the champagne, and the drivers did open the bottles, but minimal graphic settings, if you're wondering. Cameron Doubts with the win, then Drake, then Tony. It's not the first time we see on any of these drivers on the podium. Then Gomes with the fastest lap, and he did cover 90% of the distance, because you can see +2 laps. Not DNF. Cameron wins, then we've got Drake, then we've got Tony, then we've got Tom Maurer and Anton Foss, but I believe it will be the other way around. Luke Mills, Jack Hinton, Tyler Freeman, Quill Pawlakowicz, Paolo Borlini, Owen Heinen, and Philip Keller. Then the rest of the drivers are DNFs, essentially. Into a conference scene. As Drake's probably going to have something on Irvin today. Because I don't like reminding about negative things, but we definitely have to say about that safety car restart. Yes, I'm speaking to you indirectly, Drake.
Yes, I'm here.
There is already some moderation to be done on the chat. But later on, anyway, speaking about you, plenty of troubles despite the pole, but still the second place, so how do you feel about it?
Not really amazing, honestly. I tried getting on the power a little bit too soon, it seems, and the tires were not quite there. So it just ended up in a spin, which led to the spin later in the race, which I don't know how it... my point of view, it seemed like I just gave enough room to Cameron, and then I just got spun. So I'm not really so sure what happened with that. But pace was good, so that's really the only thing I'm really happy about. Had good battles. But yeah, there's a lot of things that need to improve.
Yep. Well, we'll see about the standings of today's Grand Prix later on, but since not really plenty of things happened, I can already call the conference finished, if I'm completely honest. We did not finish the stream, though. We're also going to get Cameron, so not the end just yet. There you go. Welcome, Cameron, the winner of today's race.
Yeah, hi.
As your father said in the chat, you kept it clean despite other attempts. Others' attempts.
No one tried to take me out. I don't know. He must just be joking or something. I don't know.
Yep. Anyway, any more comments about this race? As we've also got Drake in the voice chat, so about the incident.
On the incident, I don't feel like I did anything wrong. I was completely on the curb. I don't know if he left enough space, but
I mean,
it wasn't
you
like
can just see the point of views, and I don't know. I honestly cannot say anything about it. If I'm gonna be honest, I mean, it's just from my point of view. I just think I give enough room, and then I'm around. But I forgot to react on the stream until like 10 seconds later. But I mean, I don't really know if that's anybody's fault. But I mean, we can just start a thing just to see the point of views. So
yeah. Yeah, I felt like it was a racing incident, but yeah, it was a fun race. At the start, I got rear-ended, but luckily after the safety car, there was a bit of carnage, so I managed to get back up to second pretty quickly. And then I can't even remember who was on sauce in front of me, but when I passed him, it was just trying to keep pace with Drake, which I didn't really manage to do. But then we had contact, so I was in free air, and I felt a lot more comfortable in the medium, so from then on it was quite straightforward.
Yep. Do we call the end of this conference now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you can leave a like and subscribe to the channel now. As Sony Richard has made that his championship lead a little bit bigger now today. Actually, quite much bigger. And on 6 p.m. UK, so it's just 40 minutes, we'll start the PSF1 Spanish Grand Prix. So just 40 minutes, you will not hear me again, but Linus Schulze and Denis Seferi watching that fight for the championship between King, Lepner and Darunia. For now, goodbye from my side and see you next week.